Hey, what's going on everyone? MBG here. Thanks for checking out the video today. I do appreciate it. So today let's talk about some Sea of Thieves, and I really want to ask the question, what else will we be doing in this world that Rare is creating? Now, Sea of Thieves is a game I'm pretty excited for. It looks promising. It's very interesting, it's very unique, and I feel like it's a game that you wouldn't traditionally see on the Xbox platform as an exclusive, and I feel like it's a game that Xbox is really going to get behind simply because it seems like Phil Spencer was the guy who came in and said, you know what, Rare, we're done with the Kinect. I don't want you to be the Kinect guys anymore. I want you guys to go out there and make something new, fresh, unique, something that has that classic Rare feeling to it, and it's going to be a game that could possibly bring Rare back to the forefront of being a really great developer. Not that they haven't been, it's just that it's been a while since we've seen them produce something that's really been, um, you know, really well received, I guess we could say. And, you could definitely blame Microsoft for that, but getting into Sea of Thieves, I really hope that this E3 we see a big blowout of news when it comes to what we can expect to be doing in this world. And this is kind of something I've talked about before on my channel with this game. Is Rare released another gameplay section I don't really know if you could call it a commentary, but they were showing off some gameplay, and it was, I think, 5 or 6 of the developers playing together, and to me it was a little frustrating because it was the same exact thing they've showed literally since the time the game has been announced, and it's getting a little bit concerning to me, where it's like, I really hope there's more to do in this world than what they're showing, because the only thing I saw in this world, there's 2 things. I mean, the world is gorgeous. It looks awesome. I think the game looks great. I do appreciate the art style. I know it's not it's not the type of art style that everybody likes, but I appreciate it. But in this gameplay segment I'm referring to, it was the developers playing, and they were working a ship together, and they were trying to navigate to an island, and they're having a good time, they're laughing, and they're just having a bunch of fun. Obviously they're developers of the game, so they get to the island, they dig up the treasure, but then the only type of resistance they encountered was other players coming over and trying to basically steal it from them. I guess that's what they were trying to do, and they were fighting them. And I don't know, like, by the end of it, there was no conclusion. There was no satisfactory ending. It was just a few guys died. People were trying to keep the ship up, and the one dude was trying to give the treasure to the other players, but the other players were just ignoring them and killing them, and it was really weird. And it's not that it looked bad, but it's just like, I don't know, like, is that it? Is that all this game is going to be? Like, because I guess if it is, I'm really expecting something different. What I'm expecting is, we can kind of liken this game a little bit to Destiny in the sense that it's a shared world. It's going to have a heavy multiplayer emphasis and a group emphasis. The cool thing about Destiny, from what I played, is there's a lot to do. It can get a little bit repetitive, but there's a lot to do. There's a lot of quests. There's a lot of different missions you can go on. The enemy types, they're somewhat varied, and there's a lot of weapons to choose from. There's a lot of it's about leveling up. It's about your stats and everything. And obviously, I don't expect Sea of Thieves to have that level of depth. It could, but I don't expect it to. But there has to be something, right? Like, are there going to be enemy types? Is the only threat going to be other players? Is there going to be different weapons we can choose from? Are there going to be any type of stat allocations? Are we going to be able to customize our characters? Are we going to be able to customize our ships? Are we going to be able to do anything, other than what we've seen so far? And like, my guess is that there is truly a lot more depth to this game than what we've been shown, and I have a feeling that Rare is just kind of, trying to keep they're trying to keep their game relevant, but they're trying to just continue to show you the proof of concept. And I have to imagine that this is a game that Phil wants to really put alongside Scorpio and kind of save as like a big title that will be launching, not necessarily this, day and date of Scorpio, but around that time frame. because we haven't heard anything yet. Well, I mean, there was like rumors saying that the game was going to be launching in around like March or spring of this year, and that doesn't look to be the case. And what that tells me is that they're going to kind of save this game for Scorpio. And if that's the case, we could be seeing a huge blowout at E3, similar to what we've heard about State of Decay 2. Now, we haven't heard or seen anything other than a few concept images for State of Decay 2, talking about that game for a second. But they have come out and told us, like, yeah, we're going to have a massive E3 blowout, and we're going to show you everything at one time there. And I'm expecting it to be pretty big, because for a game that we know literally nothing about except its existence, and it's going to have 4-player co-op, I would expect there to be a lot of information, and I'm hopefully expecting the same thing with Sea of Thieves. I really appreciate that Rare is showing us glimpses into the game, and I haven't played the alpha. I know there's an alpha of the game going on, and maybe if there's anybody who listens to this video that has played it, if there are things that you can do in that world, that you can do in the game that I'm not aware of, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'm really interested to see if anybody can provide more information. And I know Rare has talked about the idea of there being different enemy types and quests you can go on, and that's great, and I do believe everything they're saying, but it's just like I'm getting a little bit eager and antsy over here, where I want to see something, I want to see something that's kind of surprising, and something that just looks kind of interesting. If they show maybe like a group of people going on a quest, maybe a longer one at nighttime, and it's kind of not eerie in a way. I mean, obviously the game isn't going to be scary, but just a different atmosphere than what we've seen so far, and different enemy types, what combat looks like, what does melee combat look like, how intricate are the systems, These are all things that I'm really, really interested to see. Like, do they exist in this game? What else will we be doing in this seemingly awesome world that Rare has created? And I hope it really gets fleshed out. Now, kind of going away from that for one second, I want to talk about the distribution of the game and how it's going to be distributed and how it's going to be marketed. I want to see this game be like a full-blown AAA title that is treated like a AAA title with a $60 price tag, a retail release. I know there's going to be a beta, obviously, because there's already an alpha, and they send out invitations for, I think, 5,000 players at a time. They may end up having an open beta at some point, but what I don't want to see is this game get the early access treatment like we've seen with a game like We Happy Few and Ark Survival Evolved. I don't want to see it go into that realm, because I feel like it downplays what the game could be and should be, and in my eyes, it's one of the only Xbox One exclusives we know about right now, so it needs to be treated with that kind of respect, that it's like it needs to be treated like a bigger title, even if maybe it doesn't have the broadest appeal. That's just my personal opinion. I hope that we can get a solid release date at E3 this year. If we don't get a release date for this game at E3 this year, that's going to be a problem. That will really be a problem. I'm not saying they need to rush the game, but from what we know right now, from the exclusives we know about right now, and everything we know about the game, it's been shown off a lot, the past couple of years. We need something. We need for people who are excited about this game, for people who are Xbox fans who are excited about this game, we need to not only see something, but we need to hear some news about when we can expect to actually be playing this game. Because I'm somebody, I don't really like to participate in alphas or betas, really. I'm usually just the kind of person, believe it or not, that I just like to wait to see the final product of the game and the marketing, and I'll watch just some like gameplay of it if I really want to. But a lot of times I'm sold on a game within the first reveal of it, or the first couple of minutes of gameplay we see. That's just how I am, and I was sold on Sea of Thieves with just the concept alone and how unique it looks and how interesting it looks, and I feel like a lot of other people feel the exact same way in that regard. But I also feel like there's a lot of other people who are in the same boat as me, where you're waiting to see, like, what else exactly will we be doing in this world, and how, what type of progression systems are there? What is there going to be in this world that's going to truly keep me engaged and involved? Because the most important thing with modern day gaming that games need to be doing is fighting for your time. There's more games than ever releasing, and the worst thing, in my opinion, that a game can do is expect you to pay $40 or $60 out of pocket, and then there's just barely anything to do. You know what I mean? Like, I love the kind of games, and in my opinion, some of the most successful games of today are the ones that keep giving you meaningful reasons to come back and to keep you engaged with the game. And I think Sea of Thieves has that potential. I understand that Microsoft is going for the whole games as a service thing, which I have no problem with, but still, like, there is still certainly a place for having that $60 boxed, retail game that has a lot of meaningful content packed in there, but can also be supported for an extended period of time with some great content. I think Destiny has shown that. Now, you could argue that with a game like Destiny, maybe there wasn't nearly as much content in the vanilla version of the game to justify a $60 price tag, and I don't want to see the same thing happen with Sea of Thieves. I hope there's a lot of meaningful content with this package if it does in fact end up being a $60 game. I hope it doesn't become one of these like $20 or $40 games, because we've seen what happens with games like that with Recore, where they're kind of treated like, it's a weird thing, because it's like if a game isn't $60, people automatically assume in their head, it's just like an assumption that people naturally make, where it's like, oh, it's not a big game, it's not a significant game, it's just kind of a smaller title. And that $60 price tag can go a long way in convincing people it's a AAA title and it should be taken seriously, but we're also going to have to see some meaningful gameplay chunks to really justify that, because if what we're seeing right now is all there truly is to offer with a game like Sea of Thieves, if that's all they're offering, I don't really think I'm going to be interested, because it looks fun, but it seems like the novelty of being a pirate, it will wear off pretty quickly in my eyes, when you're just kind of doing the same thing over and over again. And like I said, I'm going to hope for the best, and I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm still very excited for Sea of Thieves. I don't want anybody to take this video the wrong way. I'm not talking down on it. I'm not bashing it. I'm just saying, going further into the future with 2017, I really, really hope that there's a big push for this game at E3, and there's just a big blowout of gameplay and news and information on it that kind of takes us by surprise. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. I would really love to know your thoughts about Sea of Thieves in the comments below. Do you think we're going to get some more meaningful information and gameplay chunks this year? What are you expecting to see? What are you hoping to see? And more importantly, are you sold on the game as of right now, or do you need to see more to convince you that this game is going to be worth buying? Definitely let me know your thoughts. If you did go on to enjoy the video, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. As always, it helps the channel out, lets me know you guys are enjoying the content, and if you are new and haven't already, consider subscribing for more Sea of Thieves, Xbox, and gaming related content just like this. But until next time, guys, take care.